back to the Sports Corner with the Sports Guys for a Saturday morning, a beautiful Saturday morning, 37 degrees. I was hoping we'd get into the 40s, 50s, 60s. No, it's not going to happen. It was nice yesterday. It's going to be cooler or cold today. This is the roller coaster ride we've been on for the last week. We'll be down around 30 tonight. Rain comes in the picture tomorrow, 47, and maybe in the 50s through most of the week. Of course, Bruce was elaborating about 68 next Friday, but you know what's going to happen. It's just going to be an up and down situation, the fight between winter and spring. And I've said this before, that sometimes we don't see spring until about May 1st because of Lake Michigan over there. That water temperature is only 40 degrees. Ooh, it's a chill out there. Hey, I'm excited. We have a, should we say, a sample of the state runner-up Class 4A basketball team from Warren High School. What a ride. That's all I can say. It was a great ride over the last, we'll say the whole year for that matter, and especially in the postseason. We've got a few of the players here. Not everyone can make it here. They got other sports, other commitments that they can do, but I did extend the opportunity to bring the team in, and I know, especially when we get on this topic here with the coach, Zach Ryan, it's not easy. They lost the championship game by 1 point. In my mind, I've been saying this all week, some ways you wish you lost by 10 and not by 1. Because it's sitting in the minds of some of these players that are here in the studio. First off, let's talk to Zach Ryan, the head coach from the Warren Blue Devils. How you doing, Zach? How excited are you? Have things gotten better? Because I know last week, when that game ended, you were not emotionally where you wanted to talk. How are you feeling about a week later now?
Thanks for having us, Rusty. I'm feeling good. Like you said, it was an awesome ride. It's taken some time to kind of just decompress a little bit, catch up on some sleep. No, it was awesome. Something that I'll never forget. I know these guys will never forget. And it was a great experience.
You know, you look back on the postseason and the way that your team played. What do you say about this group? Because you've seen a lot of things. Coaches see many things throughout a year. And you didn't have a team that was 100% throughout the year because Banks was out. Treverian Banks had that hip issue with the cyst. And you had some other injuries. You had sicknesses. You got to go through a lot of things. But what did this team actually kind of endure? What did they do to get better as the year went on?
Well, I just think they just kept doing what they needed to do, and we just talked about all season that basketball is such a long season, right? So our goal was to be playing our best at the end, and for anyone that watched us, starting basically the first round of the playoffs, we played our best basketball that last month, and that's why we got to where we made it to the state tournament. But these guys just kept trusting. They kept. We had some tough times, but they kept just doing all the things we asked. Worked really hard, and kept getting in the gym and doing all the little things we had to do to get better. And it was really fun to watch them the last month just play, and it was awesome.
Well, I'll say this: 98.3 FM jumped on your backs. We saw everything from what I'm trying to think, the regional final to the sectional final, some super sectional game against Rolling Meadows, and then the 2 games downstate over Rich, and then that Bennett team, which we won't want to elaborate too much, but they were bigger, lengthier, they were a good team, and they got you by 1. But you look back at all these games, the best thing I liked is the fact that your team was able to get ahead in a lot of those games, and really turned a lot of heads through the last month of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think other than the last game, all of our playoff wins were by double digits. Now the Waukegan one's that was in double overtime. You make some free throws at the end. It turns out to be 10. But we had stretches in those games where we just couldn't really be stopped offensively or defensively, and that kind of led to us winning those games. I mean, I think other than maybe the first stretch of DeKalb and maybe a small sample in the Waukegan game, we never had any really bad stretches throughout the playoffs, and that's what you kind of need to just keep that consistency level throughout the game. And then at the end of games, we're able to make timely shots, take care of the ball, and make free throws. And that kind of happened, at a lot of these games at the end, where we kind of just be able to ice the game out a little bit, and guys made free throws, or a team would be out pressuring, and we were able to get an easy layup that was kind of a backbreaker that happened in a bunch of the games. towards the end. So we just executed really well, I thought.
You know, you look back at these games, is there one game that stood out more than the others that you really liked?
I don't know. It's pretty tough. I mean, that Rich game, I don't know. I don't know if we played much better at all. I mean, we had some really good games where we played really well, but just from a total standpoint, top to bottom, that Rich game, I thought defensively, we just executed, and then offensively, we took care of the ball. I mean, there's a bunch of games I thought that, but that one stands out. The Meadows game stands out. Those are just two games where, as a coach, we're always in control. So you always kind of knew, like, we're gonna win this game, like, just by the way we're playing, even though it got close at times. It was just we couldn't be stopped. I thought, like, we played so well in those two games. But yeah, it was a fun ride. Like I said, it was a fun 3.5 weeks for sure.
You know, the one thing, go back to Waukegan, the Dog Pound, you've got 75% of those fans were Waukegan fans in the building. I mean, calling the game and seeing how that game went, and you guys are going to overtime. I thought it was insane that neither team scored in the first overtime. You guys were stalling for that one shot. But yet your team comes out in that second overtime and kind of blitzed them, 16-6. I mean, I didn't expect that, but was that part of your plan, or was it just something that happened?
I think it was just kind of something that happened. I think that game was unique because we were in control, and then in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, Waukegan took the lead, hit some really good shots, really tough shots that were well defended, but these guys just kind of stuck together. And then we were in a little bit of foul trouble, so it was kind of whoever won the tip in the first overtime, kind of just seeing if we could get that last shot. So yeah, neither team scored, and then we kind of busted it open there in the second overtime, and controlled it. But yeah, it was fun. 0 points to 16 points in overtimes between the two teams. That's pretty unique.
And also throw in the fact that Waukegan had beaten you twice during the season. And you know that old statement, I don't know if these guys know it as much as we do because we're older, but it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference. There's only one team I know that knew how to get around that, and that was Stevenson years ago with Jalen Brunson. And of course, Patty Ambrose too.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk about that a lot. Like, when we were playing Waukegan, we didn't really. These guys kind of knew that already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they've been through. They've played enough basketball to know that that's tough to do. But yeah, I mean, I thought both the first 2 times we played them. I mean, we just didn't particularly play well. I thought. I mean, it wasn't something that I think we knew that we could beat them. We just didn't play our best games either time. So we were able to put it together, and we're playing better the third time when we played them. So a lot of it has to do with that. And sometimes it comes down to just, can you make shots? And these guys are able to make shots and make free throws.
All right. Well, the guys that make the shots, make the free throws, make the baskets. We got a few players in the studio. Let's talk to them. First off, let's bring in Jack Wolf. He was a quarterback on a football team that I remember last fall, and I called him the quarterback on this team at times. Tell me, how excitement is it? Because one thing I noticed after last weekend, you were one of the players that grabbed onto that second place trophy. Even though you lost the game, you still kind of said, hey, we achieved something. I saw that. And most times, and I've seen plenty of second places, guys. I've been around here a long time, a few decades. Anytime in Lake County a team gets second place, that trophy sits on the floor. Nobody wants to touch it. And the coach has to carry it out himself. And it takes days for the players to get used to. Hey, we took second place. It means something. But Jack, you stepped onto that very quickly. And I even talked to you afterward on the elevator when going to the press conference. You were holding the trophy. You were, hey, this is second place. It means something. What's going through your mind out of all of this?
I mean, it's still a dream. And obviously it's not the top goal and not what we wanted out of it, to say the least. But, I mean, making it to state, we're one of the 3 teams in school history. And that's still something to be proud of, no matter how we place. Even if we place 4th, we're still one of 3 teams to do it. And placing second, it's still something that I think is we're second out of 100 something teams in 4A. And no matter what, I'm proud of the guys from going from a 10-loss season to making this run to the playoffs. It's nothing like it.
You play with these guys every day. Practice with them, spend time around them. What did you like about this group? What made this team so good to get second place?
Really, I think it was just we were really connected as a team. Even in practices, we're joking around. We're not just team. We're a whole family, I'd say. We can step on and off the court and be best friends. We can, no matter where we're at, we can always just be chill together. We can always be friends together. It's like a brotherhood. And playing together, we can all be one. I feel on the floor, and that's what makes it really good.
When you guys got your run going, when did you start getting a feeling like, hey, we can make it to state? Because last year, and I was out there too, you were out at NIU, you missed out a chance to get there because of free throws. And I know you guys were all down, believe me, I saw that, you were that close. But when did you really think, hey, we can go to state, we get a chance to go after the state title?
State was a goal of ours ever since that last super sectional game.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little taste of it last year, and we knew that we didn't want anything less than that this year. So I mean, even from the summer, we had plans to be down here, and then we had a little bumpy road, I'd say, in the early part of the season. But our goals never changed. We knew that we wanted this, and we were going to work for this. And when it came to postseason time, we were ready to roll, and we knew that we needed to be playing our best basketball, like our coach was saying, and that's what happened. So we knew from the start of the season that that's where we wanted to be.
And the best part of that super sectional game, and I've heard it from a bunch of you, including your coach, Zach Ryan, they were very nice to you. They put you in the same locker room. You know, they had everything addressed the same way as the year before. You just had to win the game. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal actually walking into that locker room. I knew that feeling really well after losing that game. I did not want to feel that again in that same locker room. So I do feel that actually gave us a little extra kick to get that win.
I remember saying when we were walking out to the court, saying to our athletic director, I said, I felt like we were just here. Because it was a year apart, but it was just, everything was the same, like you said, and it was like, did we just lose the game from last year because we're back here already? So I think the familiarity helped, and like Jack said, these guys, they had their goals set. That we didn't have to like re-explain it to them. They knew what they wanted to do, and we just had to keep. They just kept doing what they had to do to get us there.
Jack, what was the best game during this postseason run in your mind that you thought?
The best game I'd say that we played definitely was the Rich game. I mean, just the energy on the floor was something unbelievable. Like, that team is a really good team, and we made them look like a lower level than they are. Mm-hmm. And I feel that the way that we played that game, on the offensive and defensive end, we were clicking 100% through the entire game. There was no doubt in our mind that we were going to lose that game. I mean, everybody on the floor was just locked in and ready to go. It was really special and a really good feeling playing that game. But then one other game would probably be that Waukegan game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that semifinal you won 66-49, and I thank you very much because I really didn't want to come back at 9:30 in the morning to play a third place game. And I don't think any one of you wanted to do that either. But and it's still surprising me that Rich ended up in fourth place because I would have thought that maybe they'd be in the championship with Bennett. Or you guys would be there. I didn't know who would win the Rich game. It was kind of like one of those toss-ups, which way it was going to go. So, let's bring in another guy over. This guy was a rebounding king, I thought, down in the playoffs. Zach Osborne, did I get it right? I hope I did.
Yeah, you got it right.
Oh, finally. It took me how many games to do that. Yeah. But Zach, you had some stupendous games. I mean, one of them I remember, 23 points, 21 rebounds. Was that the Waukegan game, I think? You weren't among the boys. You were a man out there. You were just bigger than everybody else. You stand 6'8". I joked on when you came in the building. I said, "Aren't you like about 7 feet?" Because the way you played, you've had a very good postseason.
Thank you.
How do you feel about your play in these games, in the final games?
I mean, I'm very excited with how I played. I'm very proud. All the hard work, all the effort during the off season, the season, definitely put into that outcome, and I'm proud I was able to play my best basketball in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Your job's not easy. You got to go against the big guys.
Yeah.
So, is there a secret, some way that you work around these big guys? I mean, I know Waukegan didn't have too much height, but then there's some big guys on Rolling Meadows, some big guys on Rich there around your height, and some other guy on Bennett there. There are two big guys you got to deal with. Holly Cronus at 6'9", and then that guy Colin Stack at 7'2". What's the secret of trying to keep them away from the ball and keep them away from the basket?
Something I just like to do is just be a little bit more physical with them. A lot of these other people that we're playing against don't seem to be as physical as I am, I would say. So if you just get in there and box them out, just always apply some pressure on them and just make them feel a little bit uncomfortable. And I feel like that definitely plays a big role in kind of displacing them, making them feel a little uncomfortable out there and helping me get the edge.
You said uncomfortable. Are you one of those trash talkers on the court?
Occasionally.
The high school kids don't do any trash talking. Come on, I don't see that. But even though I will say this, when you played Waukegan, there must have been a lot of fun talk during the week on social media. I got a funny feeling. Yes, no, maybe so.
A little bit, yeah, before the game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are so close community-wise,
Right.
and I'm sure you played against one another, years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Since maybe, who knows, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, middle school, playing against one another. I'm sure there's something going on.
Right, yeah. There's definitely a lot of backstory. We played 2 times already before this year, and last year we played them 3 times, beat them all 3 times, and it definitely meant a lot for them to come out this year and win those first 2 games, but we were able to capitalize on that, the big one.
Did you have in your mind, you said, hey, we're going to go out there and get Waukegan this game, or did you have that thought? I hate to put that thought in your mind, but did you have that idea?
Oh, of course. I mean, that was, at the time, the biggest game of the season for us. I mean, that was the game we were just trying to get to. After losing those 2 games to Waukegan, we just knew we were going to be back in that position, and we knew that next time we were going to beat them.
How tough is it in the dog pound? I mean, that's a traditional place with all the fans. I mean, you had 2,500 fans that were at that game. 75%, like I said earlier, the crowd was all for Waukegan just to get over the hump and win that game. Sure, you got your fans there, but not as many as theirs.
It's definitely a different environment. It's a lot more tense, all those Waukegan fans are cheering extremely loud. I mean, anytime something happens, they're all chanting really loud. It's a little hot in there. It's definitely a different atmosphere, but I feel like it kind of just helps fuel my game and the team. It helps us play better.
It was a great game, believe me. And I got nothing against Waukegan. Because I'll tell you the truth, I walked in that game, coin toss. Who's going to win it? I'm trying to be fair. I think Waukegan had a great season. There's no doubt about it. Ron Anschlag, great coach. All their players are pretty good. I mean, everybody matched up with each other awfully good in that game. So like I said, it could have gone either way. But you guys pulled it out. Luckily, is that the word I want to use? Or fortunately, it just worked that way in the second overtime. But it was a fun game to watch. I mean, I kind of left the building without my voice. I think I left it somewhere in the 3rd or 4th quarter of the overtime out there. But it was fun. Those are exciting games. If there's one thing that you could take back in that Bennett game, what would it be?
One thing I could take back.
I know there's a few things in that 4th quarter we can go back to. I know there's a lot of strange things that happened in that 4th quarter, but is there anything you could take back or change around as a player that maybe could have put you over the hump to win that game?
I mean, there's definitely many things that could have changed that would have won us the game, but besides on the winning aspect, I mean, I would have changed anything. I'm grateful for the experience. I mean, it was a great time, a game, but definitely would have liked to have won, and there could have been a few things, but yeah.
What's the best thing you like about this team yourself?
Just kind of the community we got together and how connected we are, and it's really cool to see how the surrounding communities around us come closer together because of our season and how we played. It's just a really cool thing to see.
All right, we got one other guy in here. Not a guy who's in a starting lineup, a guy that's kind of in the reserve role, right? Gavin?
Javen.
Say it again?
Javen.
Javen, I'm sorry, I messed it up. Say your last name.
Griffin.
Okay. Thanks for coming in. Tell me about your role with this team.
I started on the bench, early in the season, and we had a couple guys who, got hurt and got sick, and I think I've always thought throughout the whole season is, I wasn't going to come in the season just accepting I was going to be on the bench and accepting I was not going to play at all. I always I think wanted to take somebody's spot, and I always worked as hard as I could in practice to do that. And especially the guards we had and how deep we were. I think it was a big goal, but I knew that if I just kept working, something would happen, and people got sick, people got hurt. We fell down to the bench, and I had to step in and start a couple games, and I knew that, especially how hard I worked in the off season, I knew I was going to be ready for whenever my name was called.
I just want to add, sorry, Javen's actually started five games for us during our stretch of proviso when we had some guys out. But we always talk about, we had 15 guys, 1 through 15, or 1 through 14 were so important. And Javen was like the consummate teammate and great role player for us. He stepped in and won proviso, and he was in the starting lineup playing a ton of minutes. And then he would, when we needed minutes here and there with guys got in foul trouble, Javen would step in. And the other thing I'd probably like to add is one of the things Javen did great for our team was he guarded Jackson in practice a lot. And was a guy that could replicate the physical, the way teams guarded him, and Jaden did that for us in practice, and that I think that really helped Jackson, especially later in the season with how teams were starting to guard him. So Jaden did a lot for our team this year, and that's why he was voted captain by his teammates. And it says a lot about the time he put in this off season. He was at all of our lifting, all of our shooting in the morning. And like I said, started games for a team that won the Proviso tournament again. So he, like all these guys, he had a very important role and did a great job for our team.
Now, Jackson Davis, we'll talk to in a minute. I mean, he was your Gatorade Player of the Year too. But I want to go back over here. This reminds me of like a Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen scenario. These guys don't know about this. We do.
These guys like LeBron.
Yeah, but the thing is, what's it like to work against Jackson Davis? I've seen what he's like in games. I mean, he's phenomenal. I mean, he's got moves that you've never seen before in your life. Maybe you've seen it in person, but what's he like?
He's a really humble person. I think on the basketball aspect, it's really, I'm really fortunate to be able to learn behind somebody like him, because he has a bunch of experience, a bunch of national exposure. But I think it's just the way he carries himself throughout his everyday life, and how humble he is really shows that no matter how much exposure you get, you still need to put your head down and work. I think that shows a lot about him.
I know everybody on this team wants to be winning. I understand that. And it takes time, it takes the endurance, it takes the ability to get the job done to be that winner. But you're still winners on the court for taking second place. And Jackson Davis, Javarian Banks, and all these other players you got on your team, Zach, they've come a long way. Because you never even got yourself to past the super sectional last year. Now you took another step. And who knows what's going to be next year. You may have another shot at this, too. Not easy to get back there, of course. But players like your Jackson Davis, Javarian Banks, man, they are just such great players on the court. They do so much. I mean, what do you see out of those two players out there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're both outstanding basketball players. I think Javarion's best days are still ahead of him. For whatever he's actually on a visit today somewhere. But I think his best days are ahead of him. I think this state tournament run helped a lot of guys get some more exposure. I've been talking to coaches about Zach and Javarion, and we'll see here what Jack wants to decide to do. But these senior guys when you win games, you get noticed because obviously you can play. But if you're on a team that wins, coaches like to see that. So I think, especially for Javarion's case, it's going to help him with what he decides to do. I know he wants to play in college. I think Zach has an opportunity to play somewhere in college, and same with Jack. Jack has probably an opportunity to play 3 sports if he wants. He might just have to pick one or see what he wants
just
to
do all 3.
Yeah, you can do all 3 in college too.
Just carry the academics, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but these guys, and good athletes, very good basketball players. But what a lot of people don't know, what kind of goes unnoticed is these guys work really hard at it. Like they put time in. Javarion, Jackson, these guys are very talented players, but you have to put to work in. And we ask a lot of these guys in the off season and during the season when it comes to film study, when it comes to showing up in the morning for shooting, being in the weight room. Like, these guys put a lot of time into it. So that's why you see how important it was for them to do this, because it's not like we're just rolling the ball out November 4th and saying, hey, let's try to make it to state. These guys put a lot of time in. Zach put a lot of time in this off season, in the summer and in the fall, and working with our assistant coaches in practice every day on his skill work, and it just showed how he just grew as a player. But these guys, they put a lot of time in, and that's part of the reason why they're successful.
All right, some of the other guys we didn't mention, please mention the rest of the team, because they deserve credit too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, so we talked a little bit about Jackson and Javarion. Braylon Walker was a starter for us most of the year. He was just out with pneumonia a little bit. Was our best perimeter defender. He's been our best perimeter defender since his freshman year. He started about halfway through his freshman year. And his offensive game continues to grow. Between him and Jack, we just had two really good defenders, and all our guys really, but Jack and Braylon were able to defend other teams' best guys, whether it was a wing like Milicic from Rolling Meadows or a bigger guy like Brooks from Rich. We had those guys that were able to lock guys down, and Jack and Braylon did a great job of that, and they owned it. Like, they took that role seriously as being the other. Like, a lot of times they'd be fighting over who took which guy. And the nice thing as a coach is they would give us feedback, our staff, like, hey, who do we want to do, we'll have Jack start on Milicic and then maybe throw Braylon at him, in the second quarter, depending on what happens. These guys, they know the game, so they're able to give us good feedback on some things to do. But Braylon did a great job. Who else am I missing? Owen Squires. Owen Squires obviously is known for being probably the best shooter I think I've ever coached to this point. Shot about 45% from three this year, but his role developed because he kept working to develop himself as a defender and as a guy that could come in and help us rebound. And he played great for us this year. He wants to play some college basketball next year for sure. And then
Watson.
What's that?
Watson.
Oh yeah, Andrew Watson. Andrew was a guy that started most of the year for us. Did a great job as a great defender. Had a couple games where he made some huge shots for us. I think he had 3 threes against Whitney Young at Proviso, and did a lot of good stuff. Started taking charges for us at the end of the year. So he did a great job. Who else have I got? Were the juniors? Avon King, who came in against Rich and had some big buckets for us. Lefty guy that we're going to look for huge things for next year. But he did a great job. Really works hard at the game. Really passionate about basketball. Did a good job and continues to develop. Joel Posh played some for us. Joel's a junior. We're looking for big things out of him next year. Can really shoot the ball. Really kind of a gym rat type of kid. Great kid, high character. He's going to be big for us next year, I think, for sure. And then a couple other guys. Senior Ethan Crump. Ethan was a guy that didn't play a lot. Didn't play a lot of minutes, but was just a great teammate. Battled through some injuries and some sickness this year, but still was there every single day, giving it his best. Was a great teammate on the bench, and continued working and turned himself into a pretty good high school player. He just was on a team that was pretty good, so there just wasn't a lot of minutes for him, but he was a crucial part of our team. Jaron Glover. Jaron Glover was a guy that Jerry. They started calling him Jerry at the end of the year. Was a kid that came to us from Round Lake, was actually a starter for Round Lake as a sophomore, decided to come to Warren, knowing that it's a little different, it's a different school, there's more kids, there's gonna be more competition, but he was a guy that was willing to fill a role for us. He could really shoot the ball, takes charges, was a great teammate, great personality, guys really liked him, funny guy, really could make light of things sometimes to keep the team, light and not take things too serious sometimes. So he was a huge role for us. But like I said, from top to bottom, we had guys that all contributed something to the team, whether it was regardless of how many minutes they played necessarily.
All right, I want to thank all you guys for coming in. Sorry I didn't bring any Nerf baskets in the studio. We're told we can't play any basketball in here, but congratulations on a great season. It was a fun ride. I know you want the championship. I'm disheartened about it just as much as you are. You know, one
Stop
point.
bringing it up, Rusty. Come on.
I know, but it's 1 point.
I know, I'm kidding.
I've seen too many seconds.
I
The
know.
thing is, I want a first. I want a first, and you guys are first in my heart.
Thank
You
you.
guys
Thank you,
played a great season.
Thanks for having us, Rusty.
Oh, yeah, we appreciate it, and I got this on the way out for you. Hope you don't mind, do you? I was here, but it's not there. Oh well. I was going for We Are the Champions here. I'm trying to close it out that way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There it is. There it is. See, you're still champions for Lake County. Because people were on your back the whole time.
Thanks, Rusty.
All right, thanks guys for coming in. Go Blue Devils.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. Back with more of the Sports Corner Sports Guys for Saturday morning. Okay.
You guys going back to bed?
Want to do some breakfast?